Hello everybody. So I've been wanting to do a video on the World Economic Forum for a long time because there's a lot of talk about it on social media and a lot in the comments of my videos because it is sort of intertangled in a lot of the things that are going on today. So I wanted to do a somewhat thorough introductory video to give people who may be unfamiliar with it a better idea of it, and to maybe even give people who do know about it some more information that they did not already know. So the World Economic Forum is actually pretty open about the stuff that they're doing. So here's their mission page. So the World Economic Forum is an international organization that was founded in 1971 by Klaus Schwab. It is a not-for-profit foundation headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland, and it's independent, impartial, and not tied to any special interests. I think some people would think that that is debatable, but let's not get stuck. So two of the biggest things that you will hear Klaus Schwab and the World Economic Forum talk about is stakeholder capitalism and the Fourth Industrial Revolution and the Great Reset. So before I expand on that, I wanted to show a few clips.
Here in Davos.
If you go back 50 years to the time when the forum was conceived, the whole idea was to make the multi-stakeholder concept come alive.
The world has become so interdependent that entrepreneurs everywhere in the world depend each on another.
If you look at the history of the forum, it's really been defining systems thinking.
For example, the Gavi Vaccine Alliance. It took bringing all these great minds with resources together to say, what can we do about this?
Today we're announcing that we'll spend over $10 billion over this next decade on vaccines.
Trust really gives us our credibility. It's really the essential piece to ensuring that we can continue to do the work that we do.
The forum managed to convince Mandela and de Klerk to try to reintegrate South Africa post-apartheid.
It has been my great privilege to fight a struggle for freedom that the world adopted.
An ability of the forum to have good convening power, to bring all relevant actors to the table, and to be able to do it in a way that can impact entire countries or entire domestic systems.
Our job is to get people around the table to construct and create conversations that aren't being had.
Why wouldn't we have a conversation about how we can reorient trade rules? Because that would have quite a powerful impact on the level of emissions and use of planetary resources.
We must learn to look at the planet, not as just a spacecraft on which we are passengers. We must see the planet as what it really is, a living being.
What climate change has done, it's monumental around the world. People moving from where their families have lived for centuries because they can no longer afford to feed themselves.
Putting people in faraway places and pretending that they don't exist, that is not ethical, it's not sustainable, and it's not conducive for human growth.
There's a much more concentrated effort to make sure that we're bringing in the voices of the next generation of business leaders, societal leaders, government leaders. We need to not underestimate the power that this youth has.
Private sector and businesses, industry overall has a huge role to play.
It's not just the business itself, it's also related to the society, how we can create a better world in the future.
We are working together with companies to think about AI and ethics, but also to recognize what human-centered design really means.
We have the Center for Fourth Industrial Revolution to discuss technology governance. We always put humanity and human in center.
And that's where the forum is at its best. It's as a way to shine a spotlight of where the world community could be headed.
We have the incredible potential of the information technologies, of the ways of communicating. We're only at the beginning of recognizing how far that is going to change our lives.
Each one of the Fourth Industrial Revolution technologies has that potential to create a society that's more positive, that's more sustainable, that's more inclusive.
If we can accelerate the formulation of a solution for a rare disease or climate or access to healthcare by a single day, it means a lot to a big chunk of the world population.
लाइट आ गया, कैसा लग रहा है? बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है और आप बोले काम करने को बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है.
This is about shaping the trajectory of our planet, being that credible, neutral platform that is trusted to bring these stakeholders together and provide them guidance that they're willing to implement.
valuing equally that lots of different people might have a contribution to give. Because it often is some of those sort of rare ideas that are coming from an unexpected place that happen to be the game changers.
All right, so before we listen to Professor Klaus Schwab, yeah, a little bit creepy, a little bit like a Black Mirror episode, but I think that maybe you could say that a lot of the people involved in this feel that they're doing something good, and I don't think that's a 100% yes or no, evil or good thing that every single person in the organization is good or bad. But let's listen to Professor Klaus Schwab and see what he has to say.
Dear friends, let me share with you why the World Economic Forum can be of great service in our complex and fast-changing global system. Let's go back to the origin. In 1970, as a young professor at the University of Geneva, I wrote a book on modern management. I started writing this book asking myself the crucial question, what is the purpose of a corporation? In the book, I pioneered the stakeholder concept, which was avant-garde at the time, arguing that business should not serve only its shareholders, but all those who have a stake in the destiny.
So yeah, like I said, stakeholder capitalism is something they talk about a lot. I'm going to be honest, I am not 100% well-versed in what exactly they mean by that yet, but I did just buy every book that Professor Schwab here has written. I'm almost done with the Fourth Industrial Revolution book right now. I'm going to do a review on that soon. I bought his Stakeholder Capitalism book, so in a couple days I'll be able to give you guys a rundown on what that means, because I haven't really, I'll be honest, I haven't taken the time to fully understand that, but it is something that's one of their main focal points.
I created the forum as a not-for-profit foundation with the idea in mind of a global village where all stakeholders could interact on the most important issues of our time. Over the last 50 years, I have further developed the stakeholder concept into a global business citizenship approach, stating that business, together with governments and civil society, must be an active and responsible stakeholder in addressing global problems. Today, the concept of stakeholder capitalism, as well as the idea that the complex issues in our world can only be solved through public-private cooperation, is finally becoming mainstream. Stakeholder responsibility on a corporate but also on a global level remains the fundamental underlying principle behind everything we are doing. I see 4 distinct phases in the evolution of the World Economic Forum in the last 50 years. In the first phase, after the initial Davos meeting in 1971, we strengthened our convening power, integrating really the top leaders from government, business, and civil society. In the second phase, we turned participants of our events into members, laying the foundation for continued interaction and cooperation. And in the third phase, we developed our internal capability to exercise conceptual leadership through initiatives and reports which have now become reference benchmarks around the world in areas such as global competitiveness, global risks, and gender parity. And finally, in the fourth and last phase, we moved from generating stakeholder interaction to enabling joint stakeholder action and achieving collective impact. Whereas in the past...
Okay, I don't know about you guys, but it sounded like he tried to give a thorough explanation of the stakeholder capitalism thing there, but I don't feel that I understand it any more than I did before I started this video, so definitely I need to rely on the book to get a better understanding of it. But let me know if you got something out of that I might have missed.
There was a clear distinction between the political, economic, social, technological, and ecological aspects of a challenge. Today, everything is interdependent and interwoven. Therefore, the Forum is the only international organization which looks at all issues in an interconnected way. To structure this systemic approach, we have 5 centers with numerous interconnected initiatives. First, in our Center for Global and Regional Cooperation, we focus on all the political, global and regional aspects. Second, as an engineer, I always have been fascinated by technological progress and with
Yes, right. He has a PhD in engineering and in economics, so it does seem that he is a pretty smart guy, whether you believe in what he's saying or not. It seems like he is pretty knowledgeable about those things.
book, I coined the notion of the fourth industrial revolution. Consequently, we have developed expertise in areas such as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and others through our Center for the Fourth Industrial Revolution, which now has developed a worldwide network. Third, environmental responsibility.
So like I said, the Fourth Industrial Revolution concept, just think of the show Black Mirror if you've ever seen it. And listen, I'm trying to be really unbiased here, you know. Some of the technology I've heard them talk about, it does sound cool. Like they have the ideas of being able to put a device into somebody that detects when you are sick or say when you have cancer or something, and either alert your doctor or release medicine that could fix the issue. Now that sounds awesome, but it also sounds a little bit creepy, and just like a lot of things that turn out as ideas that are intended to make things better, if something like that falls into the wrong hands, then it could be a scary situation where somebody who doesn't have the best intentions has a disproportionate amount of control. So that's the type of thing that I think about with this when trying to have a balanced approach. But let's continue to see what he has to say.
Is a crucial, essential part of stakeholder responsibility. And the Forum, through its Center for Nature and Climate, provides a unique platform for a holistic approach to regenerate nature and reach net zero. Fourth, in our Center for the New Economy and Society, we reimagine policies focused on achieving more resilience, stronger equality, and greater sustainability. And finally, fifth, our Center for Industry Transformation is a leader in helping companies stay ahead of the curve by strengthening their competitiveness and at the same time fulfilling the expectations of their shareholders. In each of those 5 centers, we try really to be future-oriented and break through conventional attitudes and practices. This is why, in addition to our traditional government and business leader communities, we have built creative and challenging voices through our communities of Global Future Councils, our young global leaders, and particularly also our global shapers.
Young Global Leaders, glad he brought that up. I pulled up a page of their Young Global Leaders program, and they have a pretty impressive squad of people who they now have very impressive jobs. So these are people that they saw potential in and took into their Young Global Leaders program. So look at some of these titles. So this guy here, Editor-in-Chief of Arab News in Saudi Arabia. This young lady here, Deputy Chief Financial Officer, BlackRock. Ooh, that's a good spot. This young lady here, Founder and Managing Director, Mezin, Egypt. I don't know what that is. Maybe a media something. Governor of National Bank of the Kyrgyz Republic. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. I've never heard of that place before. But yeah, National Bank Governor, good spot. Director General, Institute National Security Studies, Sri Lanka. President Chief Executive Officer, Women in Africa Initiative, France. General Partner, Future Africa. Chief Executive Officer and Senior Fellow, IDFC Institute, India. Co-founder and Chief Executive Officer, Partner, Transform VC USA. Special Rapporteur on Contemporary Forms of Racism, Office High Commissioner of Human Rights. Founder and Executive Chairman, Norsken Foundation, Sweden. President, Global Network for Environment and Economic Development Research, Nigeria. Head of Public Policy and Research of PayPal. Ooh, wow. Global Fellow, the Woodrow Wilson International Center for Scholars, Africa Center for Strategic Studies, Venture Partner, Europe, Middle East, Africa, Sagana, United Kingdom, Fellow of Practice, Strategic Projects, School of Government, University of Oxford, Founder and CEO, Golden Wheat for Grain Trading Limited, Jordan. Wow. Minister of State for Advanced Technology, Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology of the United Arab Emirates. That's a sweet gig. CEO of Alayan Financial Group, Saudi Arabia. Country Representative, Advisor and Consultant, Friends of Waldorf Education, Iraq. Parliament Member, Deputy Chair, Foreign Affairs Committee, Egyptian Parliament. Partner, EY, Saudi Arabia. Yeah. All right. So yeah, you get the idea. Very prestigious positions they got. So must be a good program. They must be good at picking people with a lot of potential. Some very impressive jobs there. And I think it's like a couple hundred people they have in that group.
When we look back at the last 50 years, the Forum, through the collaborative efforts of its communities, has had considerable impact. We have been at the forefront of many societal concepts, such as stakeholder capitalism, corporate global citizenship, social entrepreneurship, public-private cooperation, and the fourth industrial revolution. We have been at the origin of other important international organizations, such as the Global Fund, Gavi, CEPI, among others. We have provided strategic insights into political and business decision-making. But we also played a major role in national and regional reconciliation processes. In addition, the informal and trusted atmosphere that we have provided in our activities and events has led to manifold opportunities for learning, collaboration, and lasting friendships. As an organization, blending the mission and orientation of an NGO together with the creativity of an academic institution and the entrepreneurship and efficiency of a business enterprise, we have created a new kind of international organization fit for the 21st century.
All right, I think that's a good spot to cut them off. All right, so this is a topic that we'll do many deep dives into. As of right now, I sort of just wanted to make it an introductory thing, not really give a strong opinion on it. I just wanted to give a presentation and let you form your own opinions, brew on that. I'm gonna read his books this week. Let's see. There's the Fourth Industrial Revolution, the Stakeholder Capitalism book, the Great Reset, and I think there's one called Implementing the Fourth Industrial Revolution or something. But yeah, I'm gonna listen to all of them this week and or next week or two. I'll probably do a very thorough review of them in my book club on Patreon, but I'll definitely do a preview of that for free for everybody. So let me know if this was informative. Let me know if you learned anything new. Let me know your thoughts on this organization, because like I said, this video in particular wasn't really for me to give my personal opinion on it, because I still have a lot to learn about them. Like I said, there's some creepy stuff here, but I also think there's like some people that feel that they're doing that they're making the world a better place. So I don't want to jump to any conclusions, and do a thorough amount of research, read all of his books. So we will see. Until then, always be relentless in pursuing what you believe in. All right, I'll talk to you later.